Yo, what's going on YouTube? Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day so far. And today in this breakdown video, I'm going to show you guys how I made $25,000 on gold within the past 2 days alone. But before I get into the actual breakdown of things, if you guys are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe down below. It'll help me out a ton. And aside from that, be sure to leave a thumbs up if you guys did get some value in any way, shape, or form within this video. So I know that it's really helping you guys out, and it helps me help you guys out even more just by posting out this free content for you guys. But with that being said, just like with any pair that I like to trade, I always like starting off with a top-down analysis just so I can get a general bias of where I can predict that market is going. So looking into gold on the monthly, we can definitely tell that gold has been in a bullish run on the monthly. It's pretty obvious, making new highs, new lows, new highs. And then right here, you can see some sort of a shift in structure a little bit and some sort of consolidation. So overall, with gold, we are bullish, and aside from that, we are maintaining above this monthly level right there. So I was looking to take more for buys on gold. So looking into the monthly, like I said, we're biased on buys, right? So breaking down into the weekly time frame, you can see a little bit more of gold and a little bit less noise, because obviously this right here is irrelevant when price comes to actually being over here. So looking into this, obviously gold is making new lows, new higher lows, or new lower lows, sorry. New lower highs, new lower low, so on and so forth, until right here. You see price came down, completely violated this specific level of support, came back to try and test it as resistance, and obviously it couldn't hold. So what did price do? Price completely flew to the top side over here, closing above this specific structural level. So whenever price did that, that's whenever I was trying to look for more longs, and I caught a couple longs every here and there. Obviously, it's a little bit in the consolidation phase on the weekly time frame, right? But looking into this specific time frame, I'm also bullish on gold just because of the fact that we are maintaining above this 78.6% extension. We are getting kangaroo tails right here, and so on and so forth, right? So a little bit more of a consolidation phase, but I'm still bullish on gold. Looking into the daily time frame, you can see a clear shift in structure. You can see a head and shoulders. You can see a lot of things. So let's just ignore all of this noise back over here, and let's just focus on this specific point of structure with gold. So you can see right here, it was making new highs, new lows, highs, lows, so on and so forth, right? So structure is in an uptrend right here, retesting previous resistance, so then coming up to coming back down, making a new low, retesting previous structure, resistance as now support, and then continuing the uptrend until price decided to completely swap back around right here in this specific structural point. So we violated these lows right here, came back up, retested the previous support. Now as resistance, price came down, price came back up, retesting previous support, which is now resistance, came down, so on and so forth. Retesting, came down, and then price just completely broke past, obviously retesting, holding as support, multiple different wicks, came back up, came down, retesting previous resistance, so on and so forth, right? So the way that I like to trade, guys, is I like to do a lot break and retest, right? So looking into this, you can see that price is literally forming some sort of a head and shoulders for you guys. So you can see the left shoulder right here. You can see the neck of the actual head and shoulders right there, and then you can see the right shoulder right here starting to form, right? And what did price do? Price just completely blew straight past that head and shoulders. So one thing that you can notice is price came back down to retest the neckline of that head and shoulders, right? So I was already bullish on the weekly and on the monthly, right? Looking into the daily, you can see the shift in structure right here, which puts me at a bullish phase on the daily time frame, right? Also retesting neckline, retesting daily support levels. As you can see, you got support, 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 so on and so forth, right? So it's retesting previous daily support level. It's retesting my neckline of my head and shoulders. And now that I have those confluences on my daily time frame, I am now going to scale in even more on the lower time frames, right? So what did I do on the lower time frames right here? Right around this general area is right where the neckline was. And like I said, we have the daily level as well. You can see price right here is in the consolidation phase, and it couldn't quite really predict where it wanted to go. It breaks past the head and shoulders and come back down and retest the previous resistance level, now holding it as a support, and it completely just nuts straight up, right? So one thing that you can notice for confluence is on the daily, we are testing the neckline. So that's one of our confluences. Number two, you can draw out a fib from the swing high to the swing low of this specific point. and we are right around the 78.6% extension. We literally tapped it and straight rejected. And after that, you can just see straight bullish momentum candlesticks on the 4-hour time frame, specifically this one right here. You can see a bull, bear, bull type of variation right there, right? So looking into that, we are the daily time frame, right? Head and shoulders, retesting previous resistance. Now as a support, we are at the 78.6% extension. So now all I'm looking for and waiting for is a price action variation signal to go ahead and take this long. So what did I do? I looked into the 2 hours, I took an aggressive entry right here for a buy. And I'll get into that a little bit more once we scale into the lower time frames, because number one of my reasons as to taking that specific buy, or this specific buy right here, before I get into this actual more aggressive one of the reasons why I took this specific buy and called it out in my signals room. And but guys, by the way, my signal room is completely free. I call out any and every single trade that I do take in there. I'll leave the link to the signals room down below in the description. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to tune into there. I drop breakdowns, signals, so on and so forth, right? So anyways, that's aside from the point. So looking into this time frame, like I was saying, you can see prices completely nut to the downside, come up, come down, and you can see another head and shoulder variation pattern right here, which this is the left shoulder, this is the neckline, coming down, forming that right shoulder. And what do you see? You see a bullish engulfing candlestick right in that specific point, right? If you were to draw a fib from this neckline all the way up to here, you can see right around that 78% extension, right around that daily percent, right? There's a lot of different confluences right there, and price just engulfs. What did I do? I took my entry right at the top of that engulfing candlestick, set my stops right below the candlestick and that daily specific resistance level, right? Support level, sorry. And I set my TPs all the way up here, right? But I'm already out the trade because I was happy with the profits that I already made. And if I'm happy with the profits that I already made, then why risk obviously letting the trade run and then just me getting stopped out at break even? So what did I do? I stopped and took all my profits right around this general area right there, because I saw that in previous price history, there was some sort of support and resistance right in that general area, right? And I was getting a lot of wickage within that area. So I was just like, okay, if I'm getting this, more than likely the bulls did run out of momentum, right? So obviously price did do that. And before I get into that, this is where I took my other entry to make the rest of my $25,000, right? So putting this down here, this was my second initial entry that I used to scale in. And looking into the lower time frames, whenever I got into this specific actual entry, right, I looked at the lower time frame again. You can see the head and shoulders. You can see the right shoulder, the left shoulder, sorry, the neckline, and then the right shoulder. What did I do here? I waited for another engulfing candlestick pattern to get into here. So I got in on this specific candlestick right here because, like I said, number one, we're at the daily. Number two, we're forming our right shoulder. And number three, we're right around that 78% extension on the fib, right? So I got in right after this specific engulfing candlestick. And what did price do? Price just completely flew to the upside, having almost no drawdown in literally both trades, right? Prices came up, made us a 1-3 on this specific trade, and also a 1 to almost 4 on my other specific trade, right? So with that being said, we caught right around 8% just alone within that trade. And then looking into this, I took a little bit of a loss somewhere in here. I don't know where I quite took my entry. I think I put an entry right here, set my stops right below, got stop hunted, and then I took another entry. But I'll show you guys right here. Well, I have $25,000 on this specific pair if it actually focuses in. You can see I have a little bit of losses. I have a $22,000 and then a couple losses, and then we make it back with a $3,000 trade and then a $3,900 trade, putting me in profit of $25,519, right? So if it focuses, it focuses. If not, it doesn't, but you can go ahead and pause the video. But aside from that, let's continue on with the breakdown, right? So here's my other entry that I took on gold. So looking into the gold, it's the same exact thing. You can see gold completely break past a resistance level, and now it's retesting it as a support. You can even argue that this is the actual neckline of the head and shoulders and retesting it, right? You can see the left shoulder, the neck, the right shoulder. What do? You draw out your specific neckline right there, line it up, and you can see price is just right at that neckline, right? So aside from that, that's one of my confluences. Retesting our head and shoulders. Another one of my confluences we have is draw the fib from the swing high, swing low, and we're literally rejecting that 78.6% extension multiple times. So what did I do? I waited for some sort of candlestick variation. I saw this doji forming right there, this hanging man. So one thing that told me is that bulls are starting to take control of this pair again, and price wants to fly. So I scaled in onto the lower time frames. I saw this specific hammer right there on the 1 hour, 30 minutes. I saw that engulfing, and I literally took it at the very top of that engulfing. I took my entry right around this general area, set stops right below. We even have a double bottom. Price came up and literally just flew. Price just completely flew. And I took my profits right around this general area right here because I saw price broke this specific structural level without hesitation, right? And then price came down. Literally, luckily, I was not looking into this because I actually would have taken out as soon as I saw this price close. But I wasn't looking into it. I was out. Good thing I was doing that. And then price just completely started flying back up again. And then we started to see a little bit of hesitation right around this resistance area. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm happy with the profits that I see, and I'm going to just go on about my day, right? So I waited for another entry right at this specific point as well. As you can tell, I took a scale in entry right here. I waited for price to come up, retest this previous support level, resistance level as a support, waited for a candlestick variation, and boom, we flew. Boom, we flew. So overall, I caught a 1 to 2 on that one almost, another about 1 to 1, 1 to 1.5. And then on this specific trade, right around a 1 to 10, right? So looking into that, we definitely caught a lot of big moves on gold alone. One thing I'm anticipating on gold right now today, it is October 21st. I'm still bullish on gold. We are still maintaining above all of these structural levels, as you can tell right here. Excuse me. You can see the resistance right there. You can see the support right there. So I'm still a bull on gold all the way up to the 1800s level because price can very easily come up here and just test this new daily support level. Resistance level, sorry. And then just start to fall again, right? But aside from that, hopefully this entire breakdown did make sense. Like I said, if you guys are interested in hopping into my free signals room, I will be dropping breakdowns just like how I did on this YouTube video alone. And if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Leave me a thumbs up if this helped you out in any way, shape, or form. If you have any questions at all, just leave a comment down below. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, and I'll try to help you guys out the best that I can. But aside from that, I'll see you guys in the next breakdown. You guys take care. Keep catching pips. Peace.